Hello everybody, how y'all doing today? Hope you're all having a fantastic day again. So today we're going to go over expanding if-else statements, or if-then statements you could say. Because what if there were multiple ifs to be questioned? Let's just take a look at this. We're keeping up some of the last code that we had when we were looking at the ands and the ors. If var1 is greater than var2, well, it's not. So we ran statement 2. But what if we did another if statement? Like this. We did var2 was compared to var3. Okay. And we'll just put an else down here. We'll get to that later. But just so it's there so I don't forget about it. Else if. So this statement wasn't true. And before, we just ran the other block of code, right? Well, when we get to this block of code, we see, wait a second, they're asking another question and another if statement. So what happens is it doesn't run this. It goes to this block of code. And then it says, oh, well, is var2 less than var3? Yes, it is. So we will run statement 2. Let's go ahead and run it. Statement 2 is ran. Let's do cout statement 3 here. So what if we see this wasn't true? This was not true. This was true. So let's go ahead and do this. So it'll go, is var1 greater than var2? No. Is var2 greater than var3? No. So it goes down to this block of code and says, oh, else. Okay, I'm going to run this no matter what. I don't need to do another check. This is going to run. And we see that statement 3 was ran. Now, what if I did, let's see, how can I make this more interesting for you guys? Let's make var1 9. See now, if var1 is greater than var2, well, it is true. So this block of code gets ran. Now, it skips over the rest of the else statements because it doesn't matter. We found our match already in this whole block of code, you could say. This is all one group, but it's going to only run this section because it's true. Let me go over that again. Now, when we run this, it'll say statement 1 was ran because it saw that this expression was true, and these are all else's, meaning the original was not true. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense with you guys. Now, what I'm going to do here is a little different. I'm going to get rid of these two. And instead of doing this, I'm going to add another if statement in here. var2 is greater than var3. And I'm going to do this. Cout statement 3. And here I'll do statement 2. So what do you guys think about this? It's not all that confusing. We see that this is on the outside, you could say, and all this stuff is on the inside of an outer if statement. This is called nesting if statements. So what's going to happen here is var1 greater than var2? Yep. So we're going to run the code inside that part. What if we had an else out here? Is this true? Yes, it is. It's going to run this code and skip over the else statement, just like it has in the other video. Now, when we run the inside stuff, it goes, okay, see out, statement 1 was ran. Good. Let's make a new line. var2, is that greater than var3? Nope. So we won't run this code. Because we bypassed this if statement, we go to the else that corresponds to that if statement. This wasn't true. We pass the block of code and we find an else. Okay, we are going to run that no matter what. We don't need to do any checks here. It's not an else if, it's just else. So statement 3 will run. So we'll have statement 1, new line, statement 3. What if I flip this? What's going to happen? var1 is still greater than var2. Good. We do this if statement check. Is var3 bigger than var2? Yes, it is. So it's going to run this code. And then we find an else. We'll be like, nope, I don't need to run that because the if statement was true. We reach the end of it. And because the outer if statement was true, we skip the else. So we'll see that statement 1 and statement 2 was true, or ran. So hopefully that opens up your minds to how you can nest if statements, nest other if statements, or nest if else statements within if statements. You can get pretty convoluted, but sometimes that's how decision making happens. If this is true, then we got to look at that part. But if that part wasn't true, then we need to do this, but then we got to do another check for something else. And you can see how it kind of snowballs a bit. But overall, the basic structure of this is if something is true, then something else. Do something else. If it was true, then you do that initial thing. If it wasn't true, you do something else. Not too shabby. That's about it as far as I'll go with if statements. In the next video, I'll give you guys a tutorial on how to use a different decision-making structure called a switch statement. And I'll see you guys in the next video.